David Martin, Labour MEP for Scotland. A consultation now open on extending what they called PGIs, special protected status that exists already for food and drink, to non-food, to other products. What do you make of this as an idea?
Well, I think potentially it's a very important idea for Scotland. We already, for example, get protection for Stornoway black pudding, which means Stornoway black pudding has to be made in Stornoway. That protects local jobs. We have it for Arbroath Smokies and we have it for Scottish whisky. So I can see the merit in the Commission proposal. One example that's been put to me already is that Scottish tartan is often sold as Scottish tartan but is made in the Far East or elsewhere, and this would protect tartan producers in Scotland. It wouldn't mean other people couldn't produce tartan, but they couldn't call it Scottish tartan if it wasn't produced in Scotland. So that could be very important for jobs.
I mean, important for jobs. Could it add a kind of premium to a brand, as people have said that some of these food products have benefited from? And is there a way of kind of measuring the benefit of that?
I think it does two things. Firstly, it does make it a niche product because it gives a certain status, the fact that it has that geographical indicator, but also it secures jobs because you literally cannot make Arbroath Smokies anywhere other than Arbroath and call them Arbroath Smokies. So it means that the product is contained and maintained in the area where it originates from, and that's very important. It's very difficult to put precise job numbers, but you know, the Scottish whisky decision, which has been ongoing over a number of years because we've expanded it from inside Europe to through our trade negotiations to other partners, but it's literally worth thousands of jobs in Scotland. Stornoway black pudding obviously a lot less, but nevertheless probably very importantly 10-20 jobs in an area that needs employment.
I mean, I spoke to the Harris Tweed Authority over the last few days. They're one of the non-food products that could perhaps apply for this kind of status, and they welcomed the idea. They said at the moment they have to send lawyers all around the world, all around Europe, chasing their brand, making sure it was protected. Could this take some of that responsibility and sort some of those problems out, do you think?
I think it could. I mean, we need to look very carefully what the Commission are proposing. In fact, they're not even, as I understand, proposing anything at the moment. They're simply going out for consultation. But in some ways, products like Harris Tweed does have protection, but nevertheless the association is right to say they have to keep taking legal action to protect their trademark. So they're defended, they're protected as a trademark at the moment. This might extend that, but I'd like to see more detail about how it might extend that and how it would give further protection to those industries. But I think particularly for the Scottish textile industry, this could be a very important initiative.
And of course, like with foods, if this all went through, those brands would have to apply for the status, they'd have to prove they were unique and so forth. So there would be a process to go through. In the past, that's been a very bureaucratic, very long process.
It does take time, but the benefits are enormous if you get this status, but you have to prove that you do have a unique locational claim. So for example, Parma ham has had to prove that Parma ham originates from Parma, and it's not just a generic name that's applied to all sorts of ham. More contentiously outside Scotland, we had the big issue with feta cheese, where the Canadians, for example, claim that feta is a generic name, not a geographical indicator. In the end, we've won that dispute with the Canadians. So there is a understandable process to be gone through to prove that Scottish tartan really is Scottish tartan and so on. But once you get that status, I think it can potentially bring lots of benefits.
And to sum up then, really, you're supportive of this idea? Could it mean more money for some of Scotland's key brands? I
think anything that defends and protects jobs in Scotland has to be looked at seriously, and I'm going to look at this proposal very seriously. And I welcome the fact the consultation has started. Let's see what comes out at the end of it, whether it really will extend the protection for these products. But you know, we're competing in a very difficult global market. The Far East and other areas can undercut us on labour costs and other costs. What we have is our quality and our name, and if we can protect that quality and name through this process, then it would be a very good move for Scotland.